Hello builders! Welcome to the World Zoo project! A zoo where I am attempting to place one of every species in the game. This time around I have just completed a new area featuring all the animals from the Barnyard pack. The new DLC which just dropped while I was creating our European village zone. If you want to see that build, I will link it in the description down below. But the petting zoo area was built as an extension to that village, just to make it look like a nice European countryside with all those lovely little animals that you want to pet, like these little dirty piggies right now. And I am aware not all animals in this pack are from Europe. There is the American donkey and the South American alpaca. Now I could have just taken the lazy route and added the alpacas to my llama exhibit and the donkeys to some other North American exhibit, but where is the fun in that? You know me, I love building things, so it gave me the perfect chance to just make these animals a brand new home. Growing up, I always loved playing farming games like Harvest Moon, Story Seasons, and Stardew Valley. So in some strange nostalgic way, it just felt right making this lovely farmland for these animals and for the guests to enjoy. So I hope you enjoy this as much as I enjoyed building it over on Twitch. So without further ado, let's get on with the tour! So guests leave the European area, and the first thing they see is this little sign that says Stoneshire Fields, the name for our little community of farms. On our left are the cattle and the goats, but we'll get to them later. First thing, let's cross our little bridge and get into the heart of our little village. First thing guests see on the right is the Dancing Bull pub, where they can go get a bite to eat and a drink. But if they're in a little bit of a rush and they can't just go sit down and they want to move on and go see the rest of the animals, we do have some other options, like this little fast food joint right here for some burgers, hot dogs, and some pip stop juice and water. Don't worry about that big empty sign on the left right there, that will eventually lead to our African section, so I'm leaving that open for when we get around to doing that. But now let's get inside of the Dancing Bull and go take a look in here. First thing guests see when they enter is a mechanical bull if they're feeling brave enough to ride it. Or they could just sit on the sidelines and watch the fools who try to prove themselves and fall off. And if it's a nice sunny day outside and they don't mind the smell of Barnyard, guests can come out and sit out here and watch the little sheep and alpacas in the adjacent exhibit. Or if they're feeling a little bit lively, they can come upstairs onto the dance floor and hang out with the little scarecrow up there. And leaving all that behind, let's get on to the first of the animal exhibits. We're going to come in to the woolly barn, which is houses of course of the alpacas and sheep I mentioned earlier. This, like all the habitats in this area, are all walkthroughs, so guests can come in and have fun with the animals and give them little head pats and scratches. Besides making everything look like grazing fields for the animals, I wanted to make it look like a proper little farming community, so I add in farm plots into this one and most of the other habitats as well. I mixed in some animal feeders into them to really attract the animals to make it look like they're grazing off the vegetables and crops that we're growing. But let's leave these little woolly boys behind and let's go on through the river. We have one river flowing through all of the habitats in this zone, giving the animals a chance to all get some nice refreshing water being fed by one waterfall right over here. Oh wait, no wait, I lied. There is one more waterfall down by the end of the river because you know I can't resist putting waterfalls into my habitats. I love how this stream turned out, the way it just flows between all the habitats linking them together. Let's fly through here and let's go visit our little chickens now, shall we? And welcome to Poultry Pastures, home of a large windmill that also serves as the chicken coop. Here we have all the roosters and chickens roam around for guests to interact with, and tons of fields for them to eat in. I love the chickens, they are cute the way they just waddle around and cluck, and just peck at everything they see, especially when they're interacting with the little bubble toys. Guests can walk through the chicken coop and interact with the sleeping chickens, and these ramps on the side allow the chickens to get a little bit higher up in case they don't want to have their little sleep disturbed. If the guests continue to poke at the chickens on high, well guess what, say goodbye to your eye. Jeez, is that a cheesy rhyme? Probably is, but you know what, I'm keeping it in. Alright, leaving chickens behind, let's get on to the Bacon Bit Bonanza, a place for our cute little piggies. The area features a lovely watermill, just like the chickens had windmill. Now the piggies got the watermill. We'll just swivel around here and I'll show you the inside of the watermill, which doubles as the pig's barn. And there's some piggies enjoying the water, right after cleaning off their mud from their day at the spa. I did jokingly throw around the idea that I should just build 3 little barns for our pigs. One barn of straw, one of wood, and another of brick. And then maybe I would have built a wolf habitat right beside them too. But you know what, maybe that's a plan for another zoo. For now, I just wanted my habitats to feature buildings that you would see in a normal farming community, such as windmills, water mills, and some storage barns and such. The piggies are known for being gluttons, so I wanted to give them the biggest field in the area. So I have added in feeders and foraging areas into the mulch and vegetation to really attract the pigs over to go and eat. But that's enough of the pigs. Let's go over to the Donkey Trading Co. It is the habitat at the edge of the zone and will be adjacent to our future Asian expansion. The story behind the Donkey Trading Co. is that the donkeys are pack animals that will trade with the Asian section of the zoo. Well, not really. I know in-game you can't really do that, but it's nice to have a story behind your habitats. Speaking of stories, I like to pretend that small children can ride the donkeys and be taken up to the top of this hill where the educators will tell them more about the animals. And up ahead you will see that second waterfall I mentioned earlier. It had been a good while since I built one, so I decided, you know what, let's add a waterfall in right here and have the guests and donkeys walk around it. Leaving the donkeys behind, let's go over to our final habitat, which houses our cattle and our goats. The river separates the 2 habitats, and to prevent the animals from crossing into each other's zones, I do a little bit of prop trickery, and we do the old elephant grass trick where you take the elephant grass, flip it upside down, and hide it just underneath the surface of the terrain, and it will prevent the animals from escaping. Speaking of animals, let's talk cattle and let's talk goats. This is probably the largest of the habitats in the zone, and it is just mostly all grass fields with a little bit of wheat fields for the cows to munch on as well. Little side note, I was actually surprised by how small the Highland cattle were. They're actually only coming up to the waist of most of the keepers, which was a big shock to me because I was expecting the cows to be a lot bigger when I added them into the game. I guess because I'm from Canada, I am used to having some big cattle over here. Now, the habitat doesn't feature many trees, but I had to get in one big oak tree right in the middle here, just to give our cattle and goats a little bit of shade from that sun. Otherwise, it doesn't make much sense to have a lot of trees inside your meadows, because you need as much grassland as possible to feed your animals. Most of the trees in the stone fields are situated around the edges of the farm, as you see here, just to make it look like this little farming community is surrounded by woodland, and it also doubles to hide all of the surrounding zones. Well, builders, that basically concludes the tour of our farming community. Why don't you hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and like this video if you enjoyed it so much. I know you probably did if you like Planet Zoo. And if you love Planet Zoo content, check out the rest of my videos because I got lots of it. Lots of little time-lapse builds and tours of this giant park we are building, which is housing, as of recording of this video, 107 species. If you want to see me building things like this, feel free to check me on Twitch. I play Planet Zoo as well as some other games that are nice and relaxing. I'll leave a link down below. And feel free to also click the Discord link if you want to join the building nerd community and share pictures of your creations, not just Planet Zoo, but any game. I love seeing people's creativity. With all that said, again, thank you for watching this far. I hope you enjoyed the tour as much as I enjoyed making the zoo. There will be some time lapses of these creations coming soon to the channel. Hope you builders have a great day, take care, and happy building! Goodbye!